if you look at two $10 million companies and each are making 10 million in revenue, and one makes $5 at the bottom line and one makes $1 million to the bottom line, are they equivalent companies, right? Would you buy each of them for the same amount of money? Absolutely not. But you go a little bit deeper and say, okay, well, how are we going to not just by metrics of money say, oh, okay, these two companies are cash flowing separate. Okay. And again, a buyer comes in and they might look at cash flow, they might look at revenue, but after they do that, they're going to start looking deeper into the company. And I think this is where your essentials elements come into play, right? Is okay, you've got me interested. You have a $10 million company, you have $1 million in cash flow, but now I need to go a little bit deeper to see if this is the right company, the right fit, the right strategic alliance. And is this typically where you're coming in to businesses to help strategize, or are you coming in because the cash flow is not happening as good? Like, when do you kind of enter into these business strategies?
That's a great question. So typically I wind up coming in to solve the cash flow problem, because that's the thing people feel, right? They're not making enough money, or they want to make more money, or whatever it is. So that's when the door opens. That's the one problem that they want to solve. Then what I do is I take them through, number one, the discussion around the fact that revenue is a terrible predictor of long-term success or of health, and why that is. And that's where we get into a discussion around those 7 essential elements. One of the things one of the best analogies that I see is, if you think about buying a house, right? Most of us have gone through that. You pick the neighborhood that you want to be in, you identify your price point, and then what you want to do is you want to find the best value for the buck, right? You want to find the $500,000 house in the $1 million neighborhood. That's what we all want, because we want that instant value. And so you roll up to the one that you think meets the criteria, and the paint is fresh, and it's got new landscaping, and it all looks great. And so you buy it. And what you discover later is that the septic tank is full and leaky, and the wiring is bad, and there's a strange odor that appears about a month later. And that's exactly what happens in business as well. A business that looks good on the outside because it has revenue, even if it has a decent profitability, can very often hide the things that you're going to want for year 2, year 3, year 4, depending on what your longer term plans are. So when you buy a business, what you really want to do is look at those things that are better predictors of longer term health, because then you're not going to have to dump a bunch of money in. You're not going to have to put a lot of effort into bolstering that profit and making sure that that profitability stays for the long term. So that's kind of how it works from my perspective anyway.
Well, and I think that it's interesting because it would be the same as, like, physical health or the health, it's just like looking at the age and saying, oh, okay, this 51-year-old and this 51-year-old, are they of the same health? On the outside, you can't really tell. You have to get kind of a little bit deeper.